I've had buyers come to me and talk to me and explain to me what they're looking for. And there are times where I can help them out by offering things like bid protection. And if I get a bid I'm happy with, I can protect my buyers. Whereas if the last thing an auction buyer wants to enter into is a bidding war, even though it's an auction sale. And sometimes we can arrange
And
what we
that's what
call bid protection.
an auctioneer loves, a bidding war.
Of course. But a buyer, when you go in small increments, you get into a bidding war. All of a sudden, you're at 100 grand, and your maximum is 100 grand, and you're up to 100 grand, and now you're at 102.5. You're at 105. You're on 107.5, and all of a sudden you're way over. You're way over, and you're involved in this bidding war that gets you well beyond your comfort or your budget. There are times where we can work out a situation where we can prevent that from happening.
But why would an auctioneer want to do that?
Well, prevent is not the right word. What we can do is we can avoid. Hey, if you're willing to bid 100, your budget's 100. If you lose it for 150, you don't care. But if you lose it for 105, you go, God, I should have bid that. I shouldn't have gotten in that bidding war. So if I know a buyer is willing to pay 100 grand, and I'm happy with that 100 grand, and I know for sure I have $100,000 bid, I may say to that buyer, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you. You open it at $100,000. I will protect you to 115 or 110. You won't get into a bidding war between 100 and 115,000.
How will you
And then if
protect them?
somebody, I will not accept a bid less than the increment that I promised I wouldn't take. So at 115,000, somebody says 102.5, I'm not going to accept it. I said the next bid's 115 grand. Take it or leave it. Now,
So
if the guy bids 115,000,
that's not really fair to
absolutely.
the other person.
Sure it is. Sure it is. The guy stepped up and said, I'm willing to pay you 100 grand. Now, I don't always do it, but sometimes I do it. And sometimes it's very beneficial for the buyer because he knows he's got a budget. And like I said, if you were going to lose an item, you don't want to lose it for 1,000 or two. But if you lose it for 25 grand, all right, well, his budget was a lot larger than mine, and I walk away feeling okay. But if I walk away thinking, well, I really should have gone another grand or 2 grand or 3 grand, and I would have the machine, I try and help my buyers avoid that.